So last season with Esbjerg didn't exactly end how we wanted it to end. This season hasn't exactly started particularly well. We are currently sat 7th place in the table. We are near the end of the summer transfer window. I think we've got like 3 or 4 days. We are going to be playing Sonderjyske in today's episode, but before we get there, I've got a lot of transfers to talk about. First of all, we're going to talk about 2 players who aren't ours anymore. Antonin Lecoq, obviously we had him on loan last season. He has not returned yet. I still might be able to bring him back, but we need to pay money for him, and we don't really have the money to pay. And much like Antonin Lecoq, Tim de Beer has not returned on loan this time. He has made his way over to England to sign for Championship side Brentford, which could be good for us in the long run, because if he plays well at Brentford, they sell him for £50 million because of his performances there. We get half of that money. That's what I'm looking at for Tim de Beer. We're looking to cash in. Joining the club then in no real particular order, we've got a few to talk about, so we're going to hopefully fly through them quite quickly, is Emmanuel Ekwala, who is a Cameroonian defender, left-back, centre-back. He's a centre-back, he's 6'2" and can't run very fast. He is currently back on loan at Coton Sport. He's not really cost us a lot of money at all, £38,500. That's the big thing so far this season. We've been spending money. I think I mentioned this guy in the last episode. Milos Markovic signed from Podgorica, could be what they're called. The Montenegrin attacking midfielder slash striker has joined for not a lot of money. It might have even been a free. Okay, it wasn't. £35,000. But look at the 3 seasons he's just had in his native Montenegro. This could be another superstar on our hands. Marcelo Pitaluga is our #1 goalkeeper for the season. And so far, even though we're not doing particularly well in the league, he is on an average rating of a 7.32 with 2 clean sheets after just 6 matches. Pitaluga could be a difference maker for us. We've also got ourselves a new right back in the shape of Hossam Moshen, signed from Orienza, maybe, could be their name. An Egyptian right back, signed on a free transfer. I think he looks very good. He's probably going to be playing a lot of football. Somebody who's probably not going to be playing a huge amount of football is Luis Manso, 19-year-old Portuguese winger and striker. He looks very good. But right now, he's probably maybe 5th or 6th in the pecking order when it comes to our right wingers. We probably will see him come off the bench occasionally. We've also brought in a new left-back, Turkish under-21 international Erkan Tan. Probably not how it's pronounced. He's our #1 left-back. He is very good. Compared to what we've had in previous years, Tan is very, very good. He's very angry, but he's very good. What is one of our biggest and most expensive signings is Nermin Zolotic, who is not going to be starting. I've brought him in because we don't have any older players in our squad. Our oldest player was like 27, and yeah, they weren't particularly experienced. I think Montano is probably one of our oldest players. Zolotic has come in as a centre-back, as a central midfielder. He's got basically the abilities to play in a few different places. He's cost about £150,000, which is probably too much money for a 34-year-old. We've spent just under £100,000 on Luka Klanak, maybe, from Bayern Munich. And again, he looks quite good. He has started every game so far. He's probably our best left winger, but can also fill in on the right-hand side or as a striker. Klanak, I think, could be good. He's still only 22. For £80,000, we have signed Rogerio Niakosi, who has signed from Marseille, formerly of Servette, a Swiss under-21 international. And I think there is a lot of potential here. I'm trying to get this guy playing games because I think right now he's not great, but I think he will get much, much better. 4-star potential ability, 2-star current ability, and already you can see with these upward arrows, getting him game time is important. And finally, to replace Antonin Lecoq is Bartol Barasic, 24-year-old Croatian striker signed on loan from Napoli. It's costing us £150,000, which is probably a bit too much money, but Barasic, I think, is a very good signing for us. He's come in from Napoli, but he hasn't played for Napoli since 2025-26. So, and he's also initially, I guess, at Dinamo at the start of the save. I think he's a good player, right? We've done well. We've also sold some people. Ojo leaving, going to AGF for £600,000. That's silly money for a player who wasn't very good for us. Thomas Galdamez also leaving the club for about £600,000 as well. A player, once again, didn't really play for us. We've got some good money. Hugo Vogel also leaving the club for up to £100,000. Wasn't very good for us either. And finally, Yakuba Barry going to Haroya AC, a team that he's played for on 3 separate occasions now, returning back to them for £180,000. He wasn't very good, was he? Barry should have been good on paper, but wasn't good for us at all. So that is our transfer business so far. We've also got some loan deals. Zulpa, Garcia, Klein, Luptak, Youssef, Angelini and Larson all going out on loan to various teams around the world. Have we mentioned Sajid Youssef? We have, haven't we? I think I signed him in January last season. He's going to hopefully get some football playing abroad, which would be lovely. I've just seen he's got a hip injury for 5 to 6 months. He's just gone on holiday. So in terms of the season so far, it's been very up and down. A 2-0 win against Viborg and a 2-0 win against Vejle. We then drew with AGF, Randers and Copenhagen, and we lost against OB. We've played probably some of the bigger and better sides in the league, and Vejle and Viborg. So you can kind of understand how we've not started particularly well. We're going to go forward. We're going to play Sonderjyske in today's episode, and we're probably going to play somebody else, and I don't want it to be Silkeborg, nor just Lund. Should we go and play them again? We've not played them in a while. So the starting lineup for the Sonderjyske game will be Pitaluga in goal, Mortensen, Nayakossi, and Duka Jr. and Erkan Tan in defence, Strunk and Madsen in midfield, Pete and Klanach on the wings, Barisic and Meyer leading the lines. And I'm sure I said this last season as well, but we have now got good depth. This is the good thing about our squad, where we've started low down, we've managed to build. So we've got some very good backup, like a decent backup right back. Markovic arguably should be playing because he's ridiculously good for us. Manso, we saw earlier. Olisema's still very good. We've got Gay as well, who spent last season out on loan at MacArthur, has returned and has a work permit, who I want to play a lot more football, so we're going to see him at some point in replacing Pete. We've got Zolotic, who is our oldest man in the squad, who's still considerably younger than me right now. And yeah, we've got a decent backup as well, players not even on the subs bench. So on paper, this should be a win. This realistically should be a win. It should be a comfortable win for us as well, because Sonderjyske are the worst team in the league. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to play them on camera. They are the worst team in the league. And if we lose this, I'm not going to be particularly happy. Particularly how we ended last season with, it was 5 defeats in a row, I think. I would like to start this season with a couple of wins on camera. Mortensen with the ball. We're seeing the very first highlight. Nayakossi to Junior and Duka. What are you going to do, buddy? On the left-hand side is Erkan Tan. He's going to go for a lumped upfield ball towards Meyer. Klanach on the ground finds Meyer. We're in. It's 30 seconds on the clock. Matteo Meyer tucks that ball away. We take the lead against Sonderjyske, and now I don't look as silly when I was panicking that we might lose this game. There is still plenty of time. Erkan's throw to Meyer, the goal scorer, can't manage to get it into the middle. And now Sonderjyske can come forward with the ball. Pete's there, nicks the ball. Klanach is going to go for a run. Barisic heads down. Meyer is there. And Matteo Meyer makes it 2-0. 10 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. If we keep up this goal scoring, we're winning 9-0. So I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be nice if it did. Mortensen's throw to Barisic. Doesn't manage to find him though. Strunk's going to get there first. Ball forward. Terrible pass from Strunk. And now it is Sonderjyske to come forward with the ball. Pete nicks it. Good job, Pete. Mortensen goes for a little run. One of the few remaining initial players, I think. One of the legacy players that I'm going to call them. And Duka, he's going to go forward to Strunk. Another legacy player. Madsen's ball forward, finds Pete, chests it down. Controls it, goes the wrong way. Klanach is there. He's hit the post. Is he going to keep this alive? He does, but doesn't keep it alive enough for us to do anything from it. Corner for Pete to take, 24th minute. It's found Matteo Meyer. He's headed onto the bar. He should have had a hat-trick. With the way the results are at the moment, we're moving up to 4th place. Obviously, this is match day number 7 of the league season, so it's still very early days. But to be in the top 4, that's got to be our target. We need to be aiming for Europe, I think, this season. And speaking of Europe, we're obviously not in it this year. This is the first season for a couple of years, I think, where we're not actually in Europe. And it should be a good thing for us because it means we're not going to be getting worn down by playing teams against, like, matches against teams in Iceland and things like that. Madsen with a ball goes off towards the left, crosses it in. Barisic is nowhere near it. We've got, what's that, 1:15 to play of the first half injury time. Nayakossi back to Pitaluga. Marcelo Pitaluga, former Liverpool goalkeeper apparently. I'm not quite sure that's true. Madsen to Klanach, through ball to Meyer. I think he might have been offside. He's put it wide anyway. Should be 3-0. He definitely should have a hat-trick. It is half-time though, and it is 2-0 to Esbjerg. Sonderjyske have had one shot. Right, I am worried that Madsen's looking complacent. I mean, what I've just said to him there seemed to fire him up a little bit more. So we're going to go into the second half, no changes. I'm looking at Madsen. I'm looking at this little smiley face down here to see whether that changes to being complacent again. Sonderjyske with a free kick. Pitaluga palms the ball off for a corner. Has the halftime team talk for Sonderjyske kicked in? And are they going to come out swinging in the second half? It's towards the centre. Header clear. Jurgensen collects it though. still keeping this one alive. Jurgensen doesn't want to go for the ball, apparently. Fair enough. 60 minutes now on the clock. We are going to do a change. Strunk is looking complacent. Okay, you can come off, buddy. What do we do here? Mads Larsen? I think we do Larsen. I think we'll also do Mamadou Gay for Pete. So we're going to see Gay on camera as well for the, I think, the first time. Because I think last season we couldn't play him at all. And I don't think we've seen him at all, have we? No. What am I talking about? I'm just making words. Well, it looks like we did all the damage in the first 10 minutes of the match. And since then, we've had chances. We arguably should have scored a couple more goals. But not a lot has really gone on whatsoever. It is going to be a 2-0 win unless something happens in the last couple of minutes. We're moving up to 4th place. And then we're going to go into the end of the transfer window, I guess. We've got a corner, and Duca's taken it. Why is our centre-back taking corners? That's a concern. Don't want our centre-back taking corners. Mortensen's collected this. We've got 15 seconds, and Duca with the ball. I think this is just going to be a highlight to end the match, isn't it? Hoy with it. Where are you going to go? Holds up play. Winther, ball upfield, over the top of Erkan. Gutierrez is running towards goal. Keep a clean sheet, Petaluga. You do keep a clean sheet. It is going to be a 2-0 win against Sonderjyske. Not the most convincing in the end. Probably should have scored more goals, but 3 more points. Petaluga once again getting decent ratings. It's amazing what you can do with a good goalkeeper. So that win then moves us up into 4th place in the table. Right now, the league table is a bit broken, isn't it? Viborg, top of the table with 1 defeat to their name against little old Esbjerg. So that's a bit of an odd one. We are 4 points off the top of the table. We are nestled in between Copenhagen and Brøndby. Nordsjælland as well up there fighting. OB, another team who are very good. But we should be good enough to finish in the top 6. Like I said earlier, we need to be aiming for Europe. Top 4 finishes where we want to be. Realistically second. Realistically second, because then we get the Europa League proper, not Europa Conference League. Right then, it's transfer deadline day. And even though I've decided to take part in it, we've got no money to really spend. We've got some transfer budget if we rearrange. We've got about, I'd say, 500,000 that we could spend. I'm probably not going to do it. I will take a look to see if anyone is attracting interest. Olisema is possibly Brøndby. I mean, we could get a bit of cash there. We've also got Manso and Nduka, who are also potentially wanted on loan. Brøndby wanting Junior and Duca, Naisved wanting Manso. I mean, have we got anyone else exciting? Not really. We've got a couple of the youngsters as well. So, yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen, but stick around just in case it does. The transfer window has closed, and we have actually done some business. And I've brought a player for 2 reasons. First of all, he's from Comoros, and secondly, his parents were mean to him. His name is Ibrahim. He's been signed from Borj Peronas in, I believe, like the French 2nd or 3rd tier of football. He's cost us about £30,000. Like I said, he's from Comoros. You can't go wrong with signing a player from Comoros. He's also called Ibrahim, and he's gone back out on loan. You may never see him. I just had to double check that he didn't have like a 3rd Ibrahim in his name. We are now going to go forward to play the Nordsjælland game. We're going to skip past Silkeborg because we always seem to play Silkeborg on camera and see how we get on in our 2nd match of the episode. Right, we're back the other side of the Silkeborg game, ready to play Nordsjælland, and we have finally managed to beat Silkeborg. We do not do well against Silkeborg. We have lost our last 3 matches to them and then a draw before that. One of the victories we had, we were down in the 3rd division. So we struggle against Silkeborg for some reason, but this time around we do manage to win, probably mainly because they were down to 9 men. But let's ignore that, we've managed to win. The starting 11 then for the Nordsjælland game will be Petaluga in goal. Motion is going to be playing today as our right back with Narkosi Jr. and Tan, or Erkan, I guess it's Erkan, isn't it? Strunk and Madsen in midfield, Pete and Montano on the wings, Barisic and Maya leading the lines. We need Barisic to get some goals. He's doing alright, I say he's doing alright, he's doing okay, isn't he? But he's got 0 goals to his name. Do we just do that? Do we just go for Markovic? I think we do. So, Nordsjælland are a very strange team in this save. They are obviously very good in real life. I say very good. I think they're good in real life. They've got some very good players in this save. They have Romario Barrow in the middle of the pitch, but they were relegated not too long ago. They've recently come back up to the top tier, and I think they've kind of got back to where they normally are. But yeah, they've kind of had a very strange time getting relegated, particularly with the squad that they had, which was the season that we should have arguably got relegated but didn't. So it's a weird team, this Nordsjælland side. They do have the ball though. 8 minutes on the clock. It is Toku with it. Big lump forward towards Anderson. Petaluga comes out, makes himself big and stops that one. If that was one of our previous goalkeepers like an Ojo or something like that, we would have conceded there. 20 minutes in, that chance has so far been the only thing really going on in this game. We've had 2 shots, apparently they've had 4, but not a lot's going on. We've got the ball in a good position. It's Mawson with it. What's he going to do? He's going to lose out to Daniel, isn't he? He's lost the ball to Daniel, and Strunk can't get there even now. Anderson is running forward. Mawson's chasing back, plays it in the middle to Romario Barrow, and Romario Barrow gets his 2nd goal of the season for Nordsjælland. We are 1-0 down, and I'm not surprised. We didn't play very well. It was a poor pass as well from Mawson, so possibly we should be blaming Mawson for that. The game thinks so. He's dropped down to a 6.5. We're in the 35th minute, that's what it is. And Duca to Nyakossi, back to Petaluga. Big kick towards Meyer. He chests that down superbly well. Across to Pete. Pete's in on goal, and Pete blasts that into the back of the net to get his 1st goal of the season. Instant reply from Esbjerg there. That is what we like to see. Was a bit of Route 1 football, not going to lie. Not the most exciting, but we've got a goal to show for it. And we've got another highlight straight after that goal as well. If we can steal it, nick the ball early on in this highlight, then I'm going to be a lot happier. Anderson back to Daniel. Anderson again can go down the line. He's got the Egyptian for company. Romario Barrow gets past his man with relative ease. Tries to curl that in the top corner. Petaluga sees it go over. I'm not going to lie. I think Romario Barrow is far too good for this team. Not necessarily the league, but certainly this team. Sepp van der Berg with the ball. Another player who, by the way, is far too good for this team. Toku's going for a run down the right-hand side. 3 in the middle. He's gone for goal himself. And we've managed to clear the ball. That was lucky because their striker or winger or whatever position he was got a bit too greedy there. I don't like what I saw. I don't like what I saw because we've done all right in places and we've done bad in others. Markovic is on a 6.5. Erkan and Mawson as well, also underperforming. Do we need to do ourselves 3 substitutions? Both fullbacks and a striker. Maybe even Montano as well coming off. Yes, we do. Right, here we go then. The mass substitution. We've got no left back, so Erkan's going to carry on playing. Fair enough. Markovic is coming off for... Do we do Gay? Do we do Mamadou Gay? I think we do Mamadou Gay. Montano for Luis Manso. Can you play on the left? You kind of can play on the left. Or that's probably a better way round of doing it. Have we... I mean, we must have somebody who can play left back. Olisema probably not so much. I assume Zolotic can't play as left back either. He is left-footed. He's got no pace, but he is left-footed. I think we're going to go for it. There's not really a lot going on in the second half of this match, is there? The 2 goals in the first half in very quick succession, and then a couple of highlights either side of them as well. But that is basically it. A 1-1 draw against the Nordsjælland side, who are probably too good, aren't they? They've probably been the better team. I will take it. It's been boring. It's not been an exciting game at all, has it? The full-time whistle goes. It's another point. It's another point. I will take the point. Arguably at home we should be winning that one. But once again, Petaluga getting a 7.1. Marcelo has been an absolute revelation for us. So with that point then against Nordsjælland, we are in 4th place in the table. 4 wins, 4 draws. Just the 1 defeat, which was against OB, if I remember correctly. It was against OB. We've got the top scorer in the league as well in the shape of Mateo Meyer. It started all right. As long as we don't slip down the table into 7th and 8th and 9th and so on, we should be on for a relatively good season. Next time around, we're going to do what we normally do. We're probably going to pick a couple of random games, maybe OB and Randers in the middle there, and we'll kind of go all the way up until December/January transfer window. Thank you very much for watching this one. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll be back next time with more Football Manager with Esbjerg.